Good, Chair. Minister, there are many holes in this bill. There's more holes in this bill than a sieve, and what will be leaking out of this sieve is families into homelessness. In my own area of Dublin Midwest, I have seen good tenants enter homelessness with their children through absolutely no fault of their own. We need to protect families. The ban on evictions, notice to quit and rent increases introduced last March protected families and had seen a significant drop on families becoming homeless. Because of this ban, we have seen less children having to move out of safe and secure homes into temporary accommodation. We have seen less children subjected to the unstable B&B hotel accommodation, less children forced to share one room with their parents and their siblings. I've witnessed over the years the trauma families experience once they receive a notice to quit, the fear parents feel for their family's future, the fear that parents do their best to shield their children from, and even with the best will in the world by parents, their children cannot but absorb these fears. Once these children enter homelessness, I'll actually rephrase that, once these children are forced into homelessness, they then get on the not-so-merry-go-round of trying to find suitable temporary accommodation. Phone call after phone call being told there is no room in the inn. Phone call after phone call when parents see the spark of hope diminish from the eyes of their children. And if they do find temporary accommodation, it is exactly that, temporary. And they must repeat the same process of phone call after phone call after phone call again the next day and the day after. More hope is diminished from their children's eyes. The long-term effect of child homelessness, I'm afraid, will be felt by our society for many years to come. This bill provides very limited protection from eviction and rent increases for renters. Our much appreciated frontline workers who kept the state going during COVID-19, who are often in low-paid employment, could be in danger of becoming homeless by any rent increases. And I include people in retail that kept the shops open during COVID, the cleaners that kept our hospitals clean, the bin men that removed our waste, the security guards that minded our buildings, our delivery drivers that delivered the much-needed PPE to the front line, and many, many more low-paid workers. However, if this bill passes in its current form, it will see the removal of protection for renters. Minister, this Fianna Fáil bill will make their situation even more precarious. A round of applause in this chamber will not keep a roof over their heads. It is the most cost-effective. It is more cost-effective to the government to keep people in homes than force them into homelessness. Landlords will again be able to issue vacant possession notices to quit, or implementation of such notices that were served before March the 27th. These notices have been the single biggest cause of family homelessness in recent years. In March, the March 27 ban on eviction has resulted in a dramatic reduction in the numbers of families presenting as homeless. Ending this ban will inevitably result in an increase in families presenting as homeless. It shows that the ban on evictions, rent increases and the issues of notices to quit is working, and more families are staying in their homes as a result. The ban on evictions should be extended until at least the end of 2020, and a 3-year ban on rent increases should be introduced. I believe that this bill is another example of how out of touch Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael are with the people that they believe that they represent. And don't take my word, Minister. We all have received circulars from Threshold, from the Simon community and many other organisations who have said that this bill is overly complex and a simple extension of the current legislation to ban evictions, notice to quit and rent increases introduced last March would have been welcome. And again, Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael have ignored these pleas. And just a few minutes ago, I listened incredulously by our party colleague, Deputy Haughey, who asked you not to pursue buying social housing of private homeowners. This is another sign of how out of touch your party is, Minister. We need to do everything possible to increase the social housing stock. Deputy Hotley would have been better off calling for real affordable housing and an increase in the income threshold to social housing. These are the solutions, Minister. And as for the Green Party, this is not the change that people wanted when they voted for you. This is not the change that people expected when they voted for you. We all have an interest in saving the planet, but the Green Party, by supporting this bill, I don't even know what planet you're on. And I urge the Green Party not to support this bill in its current form, or at very least, do not enter the chamber when the votes are called. This bill requires families to submit a written declaration to the landlord and the Residential Tenancy Board that their income level has dropped or ceased because of COVID-19. Many renters, particularly those with language, literacy or capacity issues, may not be able to engage with the written declaration process. As a result, they could lose their entitlements to protections. What this bill is doing, in essence, is removing safeguards put in place to stop families becoming homeless in the middle of a pandemic. The reality of this bill that it will force more and more families into homelessness during this worldwide pandemic, and this is an absolute scandal.